Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. We are back for another episode on this Passagemaker dinghy build. We got lots to do, so let's get at it. So we left off last episode with the fiberglass all smoothed out right in place where it needed to go, and now it's sitting up in a square up on top there of the boat. The reason for that is I went back and watched my video where I did the fiberglass on the inside of the bow section and remembered that I kind of liked the one coat of regular epoxy over the fillet as a way to clean that up. So that's what I've done here. I've just gone over real quick and put a one coat of a clear epoxy over those fillets on both sides. Hopefully that'll help with the voids and make sure we get a fairly decent chance at a good even bond there and minimal voids. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, well, you couldn't even hardly get through one small section on the inside of the boat. How the heck are you going to do the whole outside of the boat in one go? Well, so I got a secret here, and the secret is this Total Boat Tropical Extra Slow Hardener, and along with the resin that goes with it. So this extra slow hardener should give me a working time of around 45 minutes at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Now tomorrow morning at around 5 a.m. it's going to be probably my last shot at a below 70 degrees morning. It's supposed to be, I think it's 66 to 68 degrees tomorrow morning. So that, along with my little AC unit there, should get this down. I'm hoping we'll be down around 64, 65 inside the shed here when we go to put this on. So I think this is a good shot. I'll have a good shot at getting this. I'm hoping maybe we'll get, at those temperatures, maybe we'll get an hour and a half even, and we better, because the downside to using this, well, first of all, it probably won't cure clear. It may have some amber tint to it, which is fine for the bottom of the boat because it's going to get painted anyways. But the other problem is that you have to use this epoxy resin traditional. Now it says 5-to-1 there. It's really 3-to-1. I've checked it 3 times, and in fact, when you go to order the kit, and if you want the pumps, they sell you the 3-to-1 pumps. So I know that with this hardener and that resin, we've got a 3-to-1 mix. Now with being the traditional, the other problem that presents is that you have a amine blush on top of the cured epoxy. Once it cures it, there's an amine blush, they call it, that raises to the top. It's a kind of a waxy kind of substance that you have to get rid of before you do anything else to that surface, unless you use peel ply. And again, you're saying, yeah, you're going to use peel ply over this whole thing. Well, this time I hope I've got it figured out. So I've actually got peel ply. I've put it on this, I think this is a broom handle or a mop handle or something, and my plan is to start at one end and tape it down. Maybe we'll start here at the front and get it all centered up, and then I'll tape it here, and then I'll be able to roll it. I'll be able to roll it out over top to a spot, make sure it's nice and straight, get it, then come back and get it all smoothed out, and just keep on going that way. So that's why I hope I've got an hour and a half of working time to get this peel ply down. I do have to, one of the things is the peel ply, and I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but it comes in a bag folded up. I'm going to take this in today, this afternoon, this evening, and put it on the ironing board and try to iron out the folds. You can see over here, I've got 2 pieces on. These are the extra parts that if we have time and epoxy left over, we can do these. You can see here the folds. And these, if you were to put this peel ply down with this, those folds would be pretty evident in the resulting epoxy fiberglass when you peeled it off. So I haven't found a good spot to buy small quantities of peel ply on a roll. If anybody knows of any, let me know. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and iron the peel ply to get it mostly smooth, so we don't have big creases. So that's the plan. I'll do a big batch of the Total Boats Tropical Extra Slow Hardener epoxy mix, and we'll put down as much of it as we can, as quick as we can, and get it all set, and then do the peel ply, and hopefully we'll have a good result at the end. I'm trying to think right now of going through of what all I need. I'm going to try to use the epoxy spreaders, I think, this time. If I use the brush or even the roller, I think that's too slow. I'm not sure. I'll make sure I've got a brush ready, but I think I'm going to try to use the yellow spreaders when I put this down. Hopefully, if I come back out early evening, this epoxy that I put down just now will be cured enough that I can smooth out the fiberglass and get it in place. Otherwise, we'll do that first thing tomorrow morning. Trying to think of what else I need to do here, but I'm sure I'll think of something later on. But for now, we'll go ahead and pause and be back for the big fiberglassing job tomorrow morning. Alrighty then, bright and early in the morning. I did get the fiberglass smoothed out late last night. We should be all ready to go. Time to mix up some epoxy and get this party started. I am going to use this big old, lot bigger anyways, Total Boats container, and do the 3-to-1 here. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to just do the just pour it out and get it going. Yep, it's a little bit different than our usual epoxy. So it is 68 degrees on, 68 degrees in here. I've got the AC on, and it is about 10 till 5 in the morning. And we'll see if we can get this going. Hopefully it doesn't, I'm hoping I get about an hour and a half here of time, but again, we'll work as quick as we can. All right, with a big old pot like this, pot of epoxy, you want to get it out of the pot as quick as you can. I'm going to start here in kind of the middle and work my way back, and hopefully we don't make too much of a mess. The curve of the boat is one of the things that I was a little bit concerned about here. As the epoxy runs down off the back of the boat, I had thought about trying to do one section and level it out and then do the other section, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time as it is to get this on, and the peel ply. I've got the peel ply all ready to go over on the other bench there, so hopefully that goes a lot better this time. Could use a big win right now. This epoxy does seem to be a little bit thinner than what we usually see. And it's spreading out pretty nice with the spreader. Should have put a piece of plastic on the floor back here. It's gonna run off and make a mess on my floor. If that's the only catastrophe I have, then I'll be pretty happy. Oh yeah. And actually I should have put it on the transom. Yeah. Could use a bigger spreader, but I don't think I've got anything I can think of right off the top. Alrighty, it is time for the peel ply. Except I forgot to get my fin roller out. And that took 20 minutes, not too bad. Let me get a piece of tape ready. Good deal. I am liking this. I am liking this a lot. A few wrinkles back here. Wonder if I could get any more out of this. All right, I'm gonna mix up just a small batch more. And I knew these fillets here were going to be a problem. I should have done what I thought I should have, because it is going to be a big cleanup on these fillets because I cannot get the fiberglass to stick. The radius is just too small for the fiberglass to bend in there and stay. Give it one more round here with the thin roller. Alright, the only other thing I can think of to do for the fillets is in about a half hour or so I'll come back with some denatured alcohol in my finger and try to make sure we got a good contact. But right now I'm going to go ahead and finish up these other two pieces that I've got sitting here before my epoxy goes off. Alright, two small ones are done. Just make sure I don't have any big screw ups I thought I saw. There they are right there. Alright, let's see if we can show you what I got here without making too much of a mess. Along the fillets there, having a heck of a time with them, trying to get the fiberglass to lay in that small fillet. You might be able to see I've been over that spot about 4 times now. You can see the white along the edge there. That's where the fiberglass is pulled away from the fillet. No matter how much I try to force it in, glass doesn't bend very well sometimes, you know. But overall, I think we did pretty good here. I think it's got there's a couple spots that have a couple wrinkles in the back here, but other than that, and the fillets along the edge, and I'm gonna, like I said, I think I'm gonna wait a little bit here and then try going in with my fingers and a denatured alcohol to see if we can fix them up. There's some of the, looks like kind of wrinkles in there, but I think there might be another one in there we can see right there, but I'm not too worried about those. I'm going to probably have to give it a light sand anyways, and if I have to spend a little bit more time on one area than the other, that's fine. But overall, you can see it looks pretty darn good for the most part, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I did get the 2 parts of the dagger board trunk all done, and they're looking pretty good. That Tropical Hardener over there is pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it. Gave me plenty of working time, and I've got quite a bit left over here, and it's still still workable. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do, I can't think of anything else that I need to do right now with it. So probably have a little bit of waste there. Oops, there's a spot. Hold on, let me grab my thin roller and see if I can find that spot again. Right there. What is that, a bug? Is that why that was a spot? Did I just put a bug in there? Probably. At least it's on top of the peel ply, so hopefully it'll come off. Yeah, I don't know if we can see it here or not. Let's see if I can show you. And I'm pressing pretty good here. You can see if you can see the peel ply moving Seems to be a couple spots like this that doesn't matter how many times I go over it, the fiberglass pulls away from the cove. All right, anyways, I'll keep working at it and see if we can get it a little bit better here. But for now, I'll go ahead and pause, get cleaned up, and we'll probably be back out tomorrow to to see how this goes. Okay, then it's the next day. I did come out and mess with the this a little bit, a couple times. I've looked. I can see some areas of concern. I did not do any of the trimming up. I didn't want to put any more pressure on the fiberglass on the fillets there than needed. So I left everything the way it was, and we'll clean it up today. I did notice a couple other spots. Right in here, you can see some bumps and stuff in here. And turns out this is where where I poured the epoxy in one big glob for the most part. I looked at the video last night, and sure enough, this area here was where I dumped most of the epoxy. So another lesson learned is to put it in smaller batches, but this should sand out fine. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. So let me get you set up here. We'll get the peel ply off and see what it looks like, and then go from there. I'll use a razor blade knife to clean this up, or maybe even get out the oscillating tool to trim this up. We'll see how it goes, but let me get you set up and we'll get at it. All right, hopefully this peel ply comes off pretty easy. I'll start here in the front, work my way back. Oh, good grief. There we go. Had to get the right angle on it. Alrighty then, what a mess. What a mess. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Yep. Let me show you what we got here. So exactly what I thought would happen, happened. I hate being right. But you can see here we didn't get enough adhesion there to the fillet. So we got some problems like this all along. Here's one upside down. See if you can see the fiberglass moving. So yep, there's quite a few of those spots, especially around the ends. There's a big one here. So, but the rest of it, besides the fillets, most of the rest of this looks pretty good, except down here in the area where I thought it's a little rough in here. It's going to need a little bit of sanding for the get rid of the excess epoxy. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and start working on cleaning this up. I'll probably Just chip away at it with a sander, maybe I'll get yeah, don't know yet. Let me think about it, how I'm going to clean. This edge needs quite a bit of cleaning up all along here. And then the next thing on the manuals list is to clean up this the front and aft transom by grinding down so that we're flush with the all the planks are flush with the transom, and then going back and filling in any gaps with thickened epoxy. So got quite a bit of sanding to do there. So anyways, let me pause here. I'll regroup and figure out what we're going to do next. All right, so I went through and did the big problem areas with the multi-tool with just a fine blade on it. Worked pretty good. The problem is with the multi-tool, since it oscillates back and forth, you're kind of putting pressure on the fiberglass to pull out away from the cove, which is what we don't want. So I only hit the big areas with the multi-tool, and now it is back to the old standby finger belt sander. I did put on pretty heavy grit. I think it's either a 60 or an 80 grit, and as long as I take it slow and keep the belt at the same level as the plank that I'm trying to go on, we shouldn't run into too much problems, and it should give us a lot better clean. I think once I get most of the fiberglass done, I'm not going to worry about the tape, because I think I can come back and scrape the tape off later. In fact, it probably will brush right off. But I'll just work on getting the edge of the fiberglass down along the whole boat. But it's just going to take a while, so better get at it. So cleaning up the edges wasn't as bad as it seemed to be. Like I said, I went with the oscillating tool, get the worst, and then ran over it with the finger belt sander thing for the other high spots, and then took the old where is it at, the mouse sander, and went to town on it, and it cleaned up pretty good. I just wanted to get the edges cleaned up, so one of these steps we've got to turn the boat over, and I didn't want anything catching on anything when we turned the boat back over to do one of the upcoming steps. But it did cleaning the edge. It did show. Let's see if we can see it here. There was a spot. This will right there. Focus. There we go. You can see that's that fiberglass isn't even attached there. So yeah, we got quite a bit of work. I think I'm gonna save this, because like I said, in the upcoming step we've got to coat the entire thing with at least one more, if not two more layers of epoxy. So before we do that, I'll have to do some other cleanup work. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call that the step done for now. I did get these other panels here, fiberglass. Kind of weird on this one here. You can see the spots here, and it's not voids in the fiberglass. It's spots where the peel ply didn't work. Maybe it was contaminated, or maybe I ironed the peel ply or whatever. But I got the edges cleaned up, and what I'll do is give it a quick rough up with sandpaper and clean it, and then the next time we do some epoxy work, I'll go ahead and put another coat on with another layer of peel ply, and this time we'll use just the regular epoxy, not the Tropical Hardener, I think. So yep, so that's all right. This should clean up pretty good. This is the inside of the dagger board trunk, and they said to put fiberglass and 1 layer of epoxy, but I think I'm going to hit it with a second layer of epoxy anyways, since it'll be inside the dagger board trunk and we'll never be able to get to it again once we put it together. So I think an extra coat of epoxy on here is warranted. So now on to the next step will be the cleaning up the transom. So I'm going to go ahead and do we'll start on this bow transom here, and let's see if we can figure out the best way to do it. I'm thinking right now that the finger belt sander is the way to go, but I've also got wood rasp, got a big belt sander, I've got the regular orbital sander, got the multi-oscillator tool, but I'm not sure I want to do that here. The thing that they tell you about when you're doing this is not to you don't want to scar the end of the transom here, because once you get through this first layer of veneer, then it's going to look pretty bad. So I don't know, I could just try that Japanese saw out too. I think I'll start with sanding it first, and they don't really mention it in the book. They say to cut it off flush, but I don't think I want a sharp edge. You know, even if I cut it off, this has got a tilt to it here. If I cut it off flush, I don't know. Let's get at it and see what problems this brings. All right, first up is the good old orbital sander here, and let's see how this guy. I've got I think it's just 120 on here. Might want to switch to 80. There's quite a bit of material here. Let's just see how this. All right, that worked pretty good. I think I want to really try to sneak up on this. So I think what I'm going to do is go through with this guy and hit all of the planks up, and then maybe come back and try to get a little bit closer and then finish it off with some hand sanding, maybe a rasp. Yeah, let me just I'm just going to keep working at it, kind of try to sneak up on it. Make sure that I'm following the plane of the transom here so that it comes off flush with that. We are going to have you can see already we'll have some spots that need some additional epoxy work, but that's what they say in the manual, is once you clean this off, you'll come back and fill in any gaps with thickened epoxy, with the wood flour thickened epoxy. All right, so let me keep at it and see how far we get. Well, this is a little bit of a pain, but not too bad. The thing that I see is if I can see the gap between the sander and the bulkhead here and keep that parallel, that gives me the best control. It's just trying to find the position where I can see that and have a good view of the bottom of the sander and the transom. So yeah, so I'll keep at it here. It's not too bad. It's a little bit tedious, but should be able to get this done here relatively quickly, I hope. Yep, just need to keep working at it. There ought to be an easier way to do it though. Yep, all right, it's just gonna take some time and trying to figure out what the best tool is here. We'll pause here and I'll just keep whittling away at it. We'll see how we do when we get back. All right, that wasn't too bad. So once I got a flush spot, I was able to go ahead and keep using the orbital sander along the whole thing. So it doesn't look too bad. Still wondering about whether to do a little bit of a rollover on these edges here. But I think the next step will be to go ahead and do some epoxy in, some lightly thinned epoxy, lightly thickened epoxy along the whole edge, just to give it a good smear over. This corner here is going to need a little bit of attention where the we didn't get a good adhesion there on the fiberglass to that cove. All right then, made some good progress this video, that's for sure. We got the fiberglass on the bottom of the boat. Still got some cleanup to do there. Got the front transom done for getting it flush. Still got some work to do here. Got the dagger board chunk pieces done. Still got some work to do there. And the aft transom, there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. But we'll go ahead and finish up this episode here. Wanted to say thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me. And please, please subscribe. Everyone, take care and be good.